not entirely sure for them. I believe Wiz is going back to studying for school, and Wolfie, I'm not sure what his next project is, but I'm pretty sure he has, or not Wolfie, excuse me, Tender. I don't know what Tender's next project is, but I'm sure he's got something on the back lines that he can look to get done. But either way, I'm excited to see how this one will unfold for the side of Nouns, and to honestly get my first look onto them as a team, my only look onto them in the season so far.
Obviously, stories are still to be told for teams like Nouns. Laid a lot out for Limitless. The groundwork is there. They get the start on the CT side to try and kick things off after, I believe, a knife round victory. It's only Seb to defend the A site, looking strong with the first kill on George, but the trade's superb, and they lock it down in the 4-on-4.
Ready for them to get that bomb down, and Carson just awaiting the shots to come from that catwalk and attempt out the bomb plant. And once it does, that's when he'll activate, and Wiz's Julius can do no right. DJF, same spot, spotted. Two players looking to space themselves on top of him, and he's maybe crashed?
That's not good. That's quite the way to kick off your map. From bad to worse, that hurts. But I also don't know if he's crashed. I'm not seeing a tech pause just yet. Oh, there we go. Okay. I was going to say.
Some sort of an issue, I hope.
Gotta be. Right?
I thought for a second he was like, they didn't see me.
Most weird trigger discipline you've ever seen. Nah. Seems there was an issue. Good call out there. But now I also wonder if it's even on them. Like, there's like 4 players right now not moving. I don't know what to think of this.
This was pretty important place to be as well on your CT side. Start that one off. Just a round win could have been something good. Seb, though, locked down after his first pick, jiggling from the box. The utility from Nouns was put in place with the exact idea of keeping away any vision, any line of sight to deny them a cross. They get it easy.
He kind of did his job.
Yeah. Oh, he did, yeah.
Issue is, it's just such a hard push to stop with the defense that was offered up for Limitless. It can be why pistol rounds feel almost random at some points, but just the way it goes, you had the, I don't know, the good looks from Sab in CT, but when you're at the ticket spot, when you've got 4 people coming out of Palace, you're not getting that cross. You're not backing away. It's just unlucky, really, at the end of the day. So, at least he got his one, but the round count won't go to show it. In fact, it's just going to be a full save from Limitless. Nothing too fancy. SMG's not even a big story of Nouns either, so not to worry about losing too much cash, giving away kills to a MAC-10. Instead, it'll just be long-range Galils and AKs in mid.
They know it's on their way now. It's a whole lot of USBs. That flashbang and the second one to boot a little later actually does catch DJ off guard just that little bit there, and Carson's already low enough to where one bullet could finish the job. And 2 deaths is pretty significant. I think one more could be a lot in the way of economic issues that Limitless won't have to worry about.
I don't think they go back in for this. Yeah, I was going to say, this round turns from exit hunting to save real quick, because while 2 Galils aren't, you know, the crown jewel of a CT side buy, going into this 3rd round, you already have so many obstacles to try and battle against as a CT after losing the pistol. You're going to have minimal utility. You're going to have lackluster kits, and the people who do are going to have to take a blow for something like an MP9 in some areas. Here, you can kind of just set up Wiz and Tender, say, you know what, you guys do the role filler work, just buy a kit, get some util, be our site anchors this round, or support us.
We're going to have 5 rifles. It's going to be huge.
Hell, you could even have a glass cannon on Wiz.
You could. And I think, low-key, there's a world where I would, but that's like a Wiz decision, you know what I mean?
He's not buying it.
You think he's thinking about it?
Nah.
I think there's a world that I might have. If I can get a leg up in a round like this over my opponent, and then carry the up over into the next round on top of potentially a round win here, there's a world I make that choice. Knowing Junior won't have one.
And, you know, start himself off early, giving Limitless something to stand on. But for now, they just rock with the rifles. I said it, there are going to be problems, and that's evident here. but kind of countered up by the fact that they take space in ramp. DJF and Co aren't just going to stop with basic ramp control. In fact, shifting all the way through T-spawn, currently the only hold of George. That back 10 set up well, though. It's crossfire from DJF. And Seb, this shot hit would change it, but no, it's George to find the opening duel, and they've just got to vacate.
Ooh, Wolfie, though, before the smoke fully blooms, actually spots out Rush and finishes the job. Seb makes good off his teammate's life, then lost, tucked at the stairwell inside of the smoke, unaware of his position. The 3 players all around, eventually shot, damage taken and hurt. CJ does eventually deal with him, and Wolfie's down. The kill that he found in the window is now null.
Yeah, and they know. They know Seb was here originally. He's the one who found the original trade, so it's not too shocking of a clear from Junior, but does not leave Tender any better for wear. Knows one's in CT. He's got his isolation, but he doesn't have his kill. Headshot for headshot. The AK always wins, and Junior drops the bag on top of it. Already Show and Nouns are feeling no pressure.
Money a little wacky, even so, from those 2 players who managed to save Wiz and Tender are pretty well off, so the AWP as well as full utility into the next round will be available for them, as well as some pistols here if they want to get an upset taken away and still have more than what they'll need. That's fine. 3 rounds, though, for Nouns, a 4th soon to go. And with 1 player to die in this round for Nouns means that Junior can get that AWP. I line up my jungle smoke wrong every time, I feel like. It's like a new lineup every time I go there.
It's okay.
We
don't throw jungle smokes anymore.
Or was that
I actually feel like we don't throw jungle smokes anymore. I feel like we don't. You see what I'm saying? Like, instead, whereas before you had the, just, you know, the basic jungle smoke, and then you had your stairs smoke or your con smoke, something like that. Just your basic set to help you cross, right? This is also, wait, maybe not as dead of a round as I thought. 5-7s, crossing, trading well. DJF has turned this back online.
I'm not really sure what's going on at this point. It was just a flurry of frags. Barely could even keep up with them, but still flawless. Junior continues to tap away and finds 2. It's George who can kind of just chill and hang out. He can wait for them to cross because Junior has it. And Wolfie's still around. He's nearby. There's a smoke to the ramp and a shoulder to be seen and a headshot collected. No kit, no time really. I think he's going to have to go for the full stick right now, and eventually he will realize that that will be the case. Junior knows he's got to take him off the bomb, and he was never on it all the way in the first place. 8 kills, 0 deaths. Oh, thought the bomb timer might have taken it, but we're good.
But nah, as I was mentioning before, everything broke loose. I kind of love the shift of util set on Mirage, especially going into CS2, whereas now you've got that double stairs-sided smoke because you throw the one on top of stairs that ends up bleeding down under stairs, you throw the wall with it, and even when you do end up throwing a jungle piece of utility, it's a molly, right? You smoke top con, you throw the molly if you're taking stairs side. It's cool.
I don't know how. What production? Can you tell me that I sound like an absolute idiot next time?
Oh, it's funnier to let you unwind chaos yourself.
Oh man.
Who knows? Maybe I am too.
No, you sound pretty good, dude. You sound pretty good.
You're just saying that.
No, I mean it. All right, now that I am operating at full power, you'll see that Nouns have actually been countered in the time that it took me to switch over. Maybe that was the curse. CJ gets flashed towards catwalk, the bench play not spotted, but they'll know of CJ's presence at the very least, having, I think, spotted the shoulder of he, but he's changed his position now towards the ladder where Wiz holds on to him, and Wolfie wants to finish this job. He doesn't want to overextend, plays an off angle to perfection.
Well, there's that Oppa Wiz. Again, putting Limitless on the board. I mean, we talked about it earlier, right? Wiz op in his hands might be the win condition for Limitless here. And this is a big round, too, because, I mean, they kind of show that they're not going to back away from taking duels at every step of the way. Look at where people are falling here for now. Like, these are all isolated incidents, and so is that from Wolfie. Got to worry about the kills you give away. You're still not sitting perfect yourself as Limitless. Got to watch it, especially when you give up headshots to Junior, who is our player to talk about, as we've already mentioned, 10 kills that have all seemingly flown under the radar. But for him here, he's just going to fly under the radar and underpass. Escape like a thief in the night as they wonder where he's vanished to on their mid-push tender. No trade in sight, dude. Junior is hitting right now.
That one starts us all off for the road to recovery. 3 kills apiece, a pop for everyone but Tender, and he may be not too far off from it. Tech 9 and a Galil. Not huge, and that nade is. CJ left on a limp. Lucky to get away. 69 health either. I thought they would have eaten that one. Just short from landing right on his noggin. The MP9 is actually the only player directly inside of the site, needing utility and support to rain over from the top side of the stairs, and a flashbang to boot for a fight that he takes him down to 1 HP after the initial HE on top of that. That is a seriously painful stat to see when he presses tab, or at least he sees it after the round.
Oh, no, Wiz almost the victim of a double. Instead, it's the victim of Rush's Tech 9. M4, no multi in sight. And Limitless again secede the A site's control to a very aggressive Nouns.
Tender can't even get into the action. I guess the life of the B anchor, at least I think that would have to be his role at this stage, and that because he's the last to rotate. We all know what that's like, or well, by we all, I mean all our B anchors out there have to know what that's like.
Not. Absolutely not. That A call comes in, I'm not rotating. I know it's over. If I'm there, it don't matter. I'm sitting there doing my jump spots of abs.
I don't care if you see bomb, end all 5, end kill 4.
Doesn't matter. By the time I get there, we either won or lost. I am not moving.
You're crazy. Hold on.
Hey, he's going for it, though.
What
No,
if
I
he
think he's just going to try to pick up the
what
up.
if he gets it?
Oh, put B anchors on the map, baby. Tender, you know what your job is. Oh,
Jesus. No, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Why didn't he even get the op? He didn't go for the op.
I don't know, man.
If you can hate me all you want, there is no lie in the statement I said. Me and my remaining flashbang and smoke after dropping my molly and nade too early are not going back in for the retake.
Alrighty, well. 4-round diff. Still yet to die as Junior despite losing that 1 round. I guess he's the player to watch for a reason.
I mean, dude, he's killing it right now.
Want to see a little bit from that op, even still on camera, on screen POV of the shots to go along. And now the A ramp take good, successful. He's sending Rush forwards and gaining a little bit of ground as he's going to continue his way ahead. It's going to be Wiz missing onto the mark, missing onto the money, but Sev, he eats that one. Right between the teeth comes the shot. DJF gets some support and connector, but there's nobody in that direction. It's a spam through the smoke that'll be more successful than anything.
And at this point, again, just looking at a save for Limitless. It's spam, but it's aimless. A little bit of damage on Rush could have maybe inspired something if it connected for more, but it's not the world we're living in. Doesn't seem to be a fairy tale for Limitless. Instead, it's back to the dumpster fire that seems to be a couple of these rounds, and at least this time around they get to walk away with a handful of M4s, right? It's something. You've got the Uto belt on Tender. This next round is still manageable, especially if you walk away with something more. AK upgrade potentially for DJF if he wants to get more aggressive for it. Worried about the excess players in con though, if there were any. I think he'll opt to stay in the back of mid for the remainder of the round. Bomb explodes. And Nouns call a handshake of a finish, sitting up 6-1 comfortably on their own side. No. Back to the old grind for Limitless. They've forced up too. They put guns around it. I mean, it makes sense. 3 players alive. And even a SPC utility from Nouns. So fumble in the bag a little bit on a couple of slight engagements. However, Doesn't seem to halt their aggression one bit. CJ straight through that CT smoke. Maybe it should have been reconsidered. 1.5, maybe a second if it...
Oh my
It's just
god!
one more gust. Oh my, that's insane. Carson just jumps with 3 HP into jungle, and they don't seem to have any idea. No, they do. Seb's gonna clear this for sure, right? Right? Right?
No. Wrong. I don't know why you would. He didn't make a sound. He wouldn't have heard it.
That's
He's
true.
keeping CT. It's kind of crazy. He probably expects the guy who he knows is on 10 HP on the opposite end of the smoke not to jump through like a madman. Doesn't know what's on the other side. Carson, though, has an inkling knowing that there were 2 players in the mid direction who had been slain. Thought he had a timing. He did. Oh, knife out here, though. One more player. Default. Oh, that's just karma. Timing right back in the direction of Limitless.
And it feels so rare that we see Nouns operate at a disadvantage, but they don't seem to halt away from going into the A site. This is Nouns we know and love. Stubborn. Don't stagnate whatsoever. And look at the way Limitless have opted to play this round. DJF, a wise call to back away in CT spawn, not offering up any chance to Nouns to find that equalizing pick. Instead, knowing you want to play this retake, that's fine. 2-on-2 isn't what you want. And Tender gives it away. Junior posted up on Cat, gets away with one himself. And they're going to have to go through CT funneling in.
They've crossed. They haven't gotten into the line of sights of Junior. However, the bomb is planted for him. There's a smoke up. Molly, no smoke for the CTs to be able to find him, and movement is good. He's gotten the first player already floored, and the M4 has to kill him instantly. Has a kit, and almost always has the time after a frag as fast as that. Junior maybe a little bit premature on the reface.
That was his first time meeting the Grim Reaper this game. You thought it was going to be a highlight reel.
I thought it was it.
Junior. But I gotta say, and I don't mean this as a diss, but it's gonna sound like it. But I have never seen like a top North American opper miss as many layups as Junior.
What?
Like, I feel like sometimes I'm gonna watch Junior win you the round, but sometimes I might watch him miss a layup.
Dude, what's your problem?
True. He was in a 1-on-3. Can't blame him. But that's when you laugh off.
He's probably like, damn. All right, I'll be better next time. He's like, that's not happening again. That was a one-off. But here we go. He's got the gun once more. Their utility is looking a little bit dry already with 30 seconds ticked off. They've got barely anything, and they've got 3 smokes, 4 flashbangs, 1 molly, so the late round is going to become complicated. The execution should be fine, though. Relatively rudimentary in nature. Not really able to go for a whole hell of a lot of fakes, but with the flashbangs they have, they can at least gain ground. Bottom of mid, that'll soon be theirs. Top side already having been cleared, and 1 zoning out the A site. You can tell where this split's going to end up, Amthran.
It has been a very big staple of Nouns side. It feels like every single one of these rounds, we've seen them put some emphasis on actually contending for it. Whether it's 4 people, whether it's 2 just lurking around, they've always kept an eye on mid. And again, that's what they go with. They keep mixing it up. You saw Carson a couple of rounds ago. This time it's Rush. Almost a double. Spins around. He knew where Tender was. Just not good enough to lock it down. Still sets his team up well in the 4-on-4. Already spacing through connector. Keeping tabs on Tender, making sure he can't escape grasp just yet. But Wiz is your next troublesome child in CT. Spawn in the cross. Not hit. And that's a free plant earned. What the? Oh. Okay. Makes sense.
Don't judge him. This guy's been
I thought
around
he
for long
left
enough.
it, but I think he middle clicked it.
Yeah, you did. Just whipped it towards ramp. They're not going to be over peeking right now, Nouns. They're just going to be playing their positions and holding ground. Maybe a jiggle out here, and now confirmed is Tender and ladder. And CJ is going to be the one to swing from the left instead. Catches him completely off guard, and Seb tries as you may without a kit to get a little bit cheeky with it. The op is all that you'll get, and barely even that. The bomb will go off, and there's players in your spawn.
Oh my god, dude! That's always funny to see triple peaks like that, man. It's so funny. But everybody on Nouns are playing out of their minds right now. I mean, you look at some of these duels, and I almost love that we've seen a lot of them from Limitless's perspective, because it really just gives you that feeling of, what do I do? It kind of puts you in their shoes. It's suffocating. Like, Limitless, every duel they take, it feels as of late, is just... Oh, is this NL? I think this is NL, yeah. All right, they call this off for sure, right? Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, it feels every time we're spectating from Limitless's POV, the duels they lose are just instant lights out.
It really feels like they can get the legs to the round that they want. Limitless.
It's just insane. It's just insane.
What do you do? What do you do?
It's crazy too, because if you run the round that he's, you know, losing his first death, it could as easily be 16-0.
With the 1v3. Or 1v2, excuse me.
I think it was a 1v3. I think he got a kill before he went to...
It was a 3K 1v3.
Ah, right.
Yeah, because he killed the guy with his teammate alive on site still. He killed Cat Guy Tender. That's what he started it off with. And, unsure as to when DJF will be returning, but I assume that is what we were waiting for now, as he is seemingly not in the server. Match Medic back to 2-7, and we'll restart it back to where it was. Right back to an absolutely loaded T-side economy now, affording them all these weapons, and the CT side scrounging for scraps.
Now, didn't DJF also have that issue at the start of the game on the pistol?
Yeah. I believe.
It's not his night, man.
They don't want to see him win. They don't want to see him winning. Oh, Limitless won.
Hey!
Just messing.
Oh my. This kind of gives me vibes of a server swap. What?
Might need to
what's going on here.
Take a minute to get this figured out, actually.
I mean, hey, sure. I don't know how much it's going to affect the game, right? It almost feels like when something like this happens, it's kind of forcibly halted momentum from things out of your control.
Sure.
But at the same time, it doesn't even really feel like Nouns need it. A lot of these rounds have kind of gone onto their own volition. And again, it just feels like this team is so difficult to do anything about. It, like, you can't just quickly look at it and pinpoint, say, oh, you know, maybe it's like misspacing here, or maybe it's just the lack of protocols here, right? Because to be completely honest, I have liked a lot of the stuff we saw from Limitless. Like, it doesn't feel like they're just bending and breaking, not doing anything, kind of turtling up on site scared. We've seen a lot of creativity around that A site, I think, in some of the holds they've shown, but just hasn't really gone much anywhere at all in the late round. We saw them contend for mid. We've seen them win their fair share of rounds fighting for mid. I don't exactly know what you could pinpoint the issues being on. It's just everywhere you look, Nouns just winning their duels. It's everywhere you look, Nouns getting the right reads, getting good trades, spacing perfectly, getting these perfect angles. It's so hard, right? Because I don't even know what to say for Limitless.
Yeah, that mid take has just really been doing them a whole hell of a lot of good. Hasn't really been a whole lot of forward pressure coming out of the opponents, really, in terms of coordination and trying to get somebody up in your face and trying to get that high-low, one look lower, one look upper from catwalk side. AWP also being a big factor in that sort of a setup. Not really a whole lot of gimmicks being thrown into the mix to try and deny them of that mid space. And even when that is the case, we don't see them going for a whole hell of a lot in the way of map control on the extremities, the CT side, to remedy that fact. So really just comes down to them being bullied back into their sights. Limitless being able to find those opening picks towards connector or those timings in through connector sometimes, and it's that or just kind of them walking out into the A site on one of their standard executions a little bit later into the round, and it's something that they don't seem to be able to handle, especially with the money being where it was.
Yeah, the only thing I could maybe think of, at least on the topic of what you bring up, because I think your points are valid, is maybe lack of info toward B, right? We still kind of see a lot of more standard approaches to these rounds from the CT side, even though I think from the bird's eye view, you almost I actually don't think we've seen a single round where Nouns have gone B now that I think about it, right? But every single time we still see kind of the same approach to it with CJ on cat, with a B anchor, with somebody in CT, with somebody over toward jungle, maybe a ramp push every now and again, but we're never really seeing them put more strength on that A site's defense initially because of what they know it's going to come into a round. We don't really see much info plays happening at B. We don't really see any clearing of apps and setting your team up on A because of it. We don't really see any holding or hesitation to throw utility from the defensive side. So when those takes come through, it's rare. We don't see flashes over Con. We don't see mollies on Tetris. We don't see nades to stop them from running out. A lot of it is just kind of, playing your own basic role and holding to your own, playing your own protocols, as a standard A-site Mirage player, which isn't going to work against a team like Nouns because you give them so much space. You have to some credit, right? Like when that mid take is that strong, you got to look elsewhere for your answers. And I don't think they have been as much as I'd like to see. I think you're muted.
It's been the
buddy.
junior show. It's been the junior show. It's really all we can say. There's nothing else to this. There's nothing else to say. There's two teams, and one of them is blowing them out of the water, and junior has one death. There's not really a whole much more analysis that can be said about this one. Limitless, they need to step up in all departments on the defense, and if they can't, they're going to be running it down effectively on that T side. I don't really know how much they have prepared in this core even, let alone setting aside the two players that are acting as stand-ins, right? So going into this map effectively blind in many ways, and Junior being able to run a field day on them was coming to be the most expected thing. I mean, it was the easiest player to pick to watch, knowing what Junior's best attributes are, and that's just winning out against players who, no offense, don't really know what they're doing in many of these instances as a team.
Yeah. And again, it's kind of stuff you'd
5.
expect to see, right? Like you've got to play through the mud with a couple of players that you're not going to be playing with in the future. So there's likely to be some discomfort there when it comes to meshing together. And I think this is the first time we've seen Nouns actually take a B approach. So I'm excited. Right? This is what you live for as a B anchor. These are your moments when your players like Tender. The whole game leading up to this one moment, your one chance as a B anchor to finally make your impact on a game. Spoken from a B anchor's perspective.
Spoken from a real noob. Flash in, actually a smoke to blind Wolfie off as they walk up, or else he'll have to just waltz through or take some pop shots for fun. Pretty genius, really. It just completely negates his ability to have any impact, but this is a round. His MP9 player has been found. Wolfie can now activate on his timing, and they've gotten themselves a 4v2 with that nade taking down Rush.
And everybody's here at this point. George is somehow snuck into bench. DJF kind of suspects it, but actually wins the duel a lot cleaner than I thought it would be. Still, round outcome all the same. Limitless with their third. And you know what? I really like the way that Tender plays this. He doesn't end it with a kill. He doesn't end it with any damage. But what's so important is that B anchor is the way you use your utility. It starts with, as you said, that really smart smoke that stops and stunts progress from Nouns. And when you do see people go out of it, when you do see that jump out of the window or walk out into van, it goes horrifically wrong. You've got an isolation on Cat with 3 players staring at him. You've got a player in van on low HP that just gets dunked on by an HE. It's perfectly played, all set up by Tender. That round is a world of difference if there's a player in apps that can easily see into the site.
First time in a long time, if ever, that Nouns have been in this position where they can't actually afford to go in for a purchase tack timeout taken. 2 rounds left. They may as well go for something at least a little small here and not necessarily digging deep into their pockets, but with that many rounds to go with it, they should be able to afford themselves something in the way of a pistol buy here and there, right? Try and make something happen. They're not going to go full Glocks, surely. I mean, they could. And then into that following round, just save what they can, hope to get that bomb plant with everything in their arsenal, everything in their power. That might be a good idea, actually, now that I think about it. There might be some philosophy behind that, but AK-47s, okay, we got 3. Breaking out the big guns a little deeper into the pockets than I was anticipating, but even so, I'm with it.
You know, I like this. I like this from both sides, right? This is a great round, I think, that we're about to see. We've been talking this whole game about how it's nouns, 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 but this is the first time we're actually seeing Limitless with a chance to make this more of a story for themselves. Obviously, the role reversal is still something you've got your eye on, but a 5-7 half is by no stretch of the imagination unwinnable. And they've got 3 players on A. This is something I said was notably missing from the Limitless CT side. Keeping some extra players here for an early strong defense. And you've got that off on Wiz, posted in cons. A thought it was a first victim when the smoke expired, but that's what Seb's there for. A phenomenal trade. As the A popping still comes through, the setup is still here. Full belt utility on DJF, who's gone undetected behind the triple boxes, and they're inching slowly. Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Again,
he's just past them. The Mac 10 of all things. He's gotten in between. He's splintered it, but DJF has as well. But oh, is that what you were saying too?
Dude.
Oh.
Dude. Come on. Oh, what? What is this? No.
Dude. And
Wait, 1v2 on site. 1v2 on site. They got him cornered.
George is playing for himself right now, allowing CJ to cook late. Smoke blooms. Already saw the body waking his way up through the bench side, though, and Wiz with the op onto the clutch. A 1v2, needing both of these kills in a matter of seconds now. He may have a kit, but there's less than 10 on the clock, and a USP pin pulled won't do it. Job done, and DJF, a moment if he played patiently, he might have found a double.
You know what's crazy? Like, I saw him start moving, and I just hear like the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme in my head. Like, I thought it was done. You think, oh, it's so desperate, it's so desolate. And then he just starts moving, you're like, wait a second, he could just win the round. But no, you're right, I mean, a hairpin away, and it's such a heartbreaking way to lose it too, because it was like 2 guaranteed kills that would have been rounds changing. It hurts, man, but it's left him here.
It brought you, where did it bring you? Right back to me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, elevated over the top of that smoke. Didn't land exactly how the CTs would have wanted it to if it were theirs. Maybe it was an intentional T1 to give them that leg up. That would have been pretty curious if that were the case. Pretender snuck by in through Van's side. He's been spotted by Junior, who goes for the hard clear, no stone unturned. This 9th round looking like a shoo-in at this point with that bomb to be planted only now. It's actually just going down. And Seb's gonna have to fly in with that MP9 to give Wiz any chance with this rifle, and even then, he's just decimated by Carson. It's a little late for DJF to flank here. He would have caught Junior if he was a little bit faster. He should still now, but even so, he'll be held. Missed the flash. Second one thrown in the same direction successfully this time around, though. And the cross from Market side is going to be let open, but Seb not quite prepared for CJ.
I mean, you gotta give it its good attempt, but yeah, no. It's a very, very star-studded half for Nouns as we go into the break. Could have been Limitless's chance, but seems history repeats itself.
Okie doke. Hopefully, fingers crossed, all of the internet and whatever connectivity issues within the last half for DJF have been squared away. We want to see him, as well as Limitless, in full force for their attempt to try and pull back Mirage. 3 rounds is all that their opponents are going to need to bring at least overtime. And we'll take 4 for the full victory, and Carson spotted out a sliver of players in Pal or Apps.
And the setup is good, man. They've got 3 players here, all ready to shoot him down, and so is Wolfie. Way better outlook to the pistol here for Limitless. All right. The side swap had me a little worried as to what this future was to behold, but right now, it's lockout.
Get it, beat, hold.
All right. You know, and I was disappointed, but you've somehow lowered the bar.
Yeah.
Trust me, I do it all the time. You'll get over it.
This is Rush now cowering in fear, man. He's got nothing but body armor, and he's going to be chilling with this one.
Terrorists win.
Just hanging about. Completely avoided.
What if he wants to just chill? You know? Sometimes you're mid-game and you're like, I don't want to play this round. That's why I'm a B anchor. That's why I do what I do.
That's me for real.
All right, Denji, calm down.
I love B anchoring. I like A anchoring. I like playing con. Window's nice.
Cat is the worst. I feel like all spots on Mirage are fun except like Cat.
Probably.
Like I remember when I would join a team and they're like, "Yeah, we'll kind of need you to be our Cat player, Mirage." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm cool with that." And you know, I just mute my mic and the deepest sigh you ever heard. Slow progression here for
Very.
Limitless. I mean, look, you got to give respect to the pistols. Give them an inch, they'll take it a mile, especially when you're staring down people like Russian Jr. Jr. obviously, you know, having a game of himself, but at the end of the day, it is still a P250, and eventually they'll scale into A and call this quits. Did that dink just do 52? That must have been through a wall, right?
Probably, yeah. I assume so. Now Wolfie can make some buku bucks with this Mac 10 as they get closer to him. He only finds the one wider the swing where CJ can collect upon him. From then onwards,
it's
formality.
Damage mitigation.
Yeah.
Bro.
Got Carson just tucked into spawn, hugging the wall. With CJ
I don't think they're
playing
gonna bother
first.
going for exits.
Well, I mean, sure.
Junior will, but it's a stalemate of a round, and he's not even going to investigate a little bit. By the time Carson figures out what's going on, they're on with the win. The Junior's Mac 10 won't have much of an effect. Nope, I lied. They stuck around in there. All right, well, he'll get his chance, and he'll get his kill. If there's anybody you didn't want having that extra $600, it's the op. Wait, that's crazy, because you could actually see Junior purchase an op now because of that one kill. I almost wonder if he does. 19 and 5, dude? You're killing it. Do it. He does.
Do it! Do it! Do it!
I wanted it. We all wanted it. And, ooh. It's not DJ at this time. I don't think he bought. I lied. He carried that in from the last round. It could very well be DJF. I kind of wonder if DJF gets subbed out the second map. Can they even sub him out? Like,
Not
What
for
would you do?
Cyrus or
Bring in the
Sandman, I don't
coach?
think. Yeah, I'd have to assume. Somebody.
gotta be. I mean, and not even saying like for, you know, time constraints or anything, or one reason or another in specific, but I feel like sometimes it does get to a point as a player. I mean, talked to a lot of people who used to have issues with this. I think Landmaz was one, and it just kind of gets, you know, you get sad, right? Like, it's out of your control. It's happening every other round, and you just start to feel demoralized as a player because there's so many spots where you could be having your impact. I think you and I are thinking about the exact same moment where, you know, if he was there, if he was in that spot, it's a round for Limitless, likely. But now it's just the kryptonite.
Now, 5v5 rifles, no snipers in the question. The only player in any way who can be slighted about this one is DJF with the Galil. He's got the rest of his team fully kitted out, though, with 4 the gap. And Nouns now with a chance back for the rest to try and supplement what Junior's done thus far. Needing a hero joined by his side, a sidekick perhaps in this moment, really. He has been absolutely nothing but a star. This now.
I'm still surprised we don't see Junior wield the AWP in this round. I'm actually kind of shocked.
Yeah. I don't know. But what I do know is that Rush needed this utility, this much at very least, on the jump spot. The life of a B anchor now realized on the deeper spot than typically you'll see. Now, drops back towards Van even so and elevates himself to see nobody on the other end.
Well, Limitless are waiting. I mean, I'm wondering what the Q is. Maybe just the, I'd say, decay of that smoke in B, but the jig is up, right? You just threw that nade. Noise is cut everywhere, and this is kind of the inverse what we're seeing from Nouns. They've got eyes on extremities. They see nobody in ramp. Nothing's being made in mid. They're not throwing flashes, spacing up. So, leads you here. You knew it was going to be a B approach. You threaded it with 2 pieces of utility, and now with 30 seconds to go, they're rerouting right into the welcoming arms of Nouns. Carson, a shaky spray, but an unscathed kill no less, and they're still going into this A site.
Walked in, not exactly for free.
Oh.
Waiting to spring the trap was Carson, and it's the lineup, the 1-2 punch, and he's got the both Junior with just in a vision over the top side of the box, slipping out from triple. In between that and default, leave tender with nothing to do and no time to do anything if you wanted to. 1 spray, and that's all that he's got in the tech.
And so falls another hard-fought round from Limitless. Kind of the victims of their own fruition there. You had the timer really painting you toward the end of that round. There wasn't any exploring toward A, and you could really see how hard that hit. As soon as you went in ramp, Carson was there, then you were worrying about him, and you go up con. He gets 2 more. It's just a mess at the end. Nothing you could really do about it, except hope for the best in the following with a little bit of utility and a sprinkle of magic. Maybe you can get a bomb plant in this. You've only got Rush to worry about at the B end of things, so not of any sort of impossibility. Junior, though, quick on the rotation, realizing the hole that's been left open. He'll come through to address it with some extra assistance in mid and a smoke over the A site. He's here, and he's ready to game.
This is him holding the line once again. A reload out in the middle of nowhere. Miss. Press of the bind from Rush, perhaps, but even then, another dunk. A double from them both. They collaborate to make this one a done deal with DJF trying as he may with the Tech 9, a potent weapon in that range, but not for much more than just the singular. Want to see now these 2 rounds from Nouns in quick succession with Junior's up, readily available with the money that CJ has built up, and I think he is asking for the drop now. Bang.
I was going to say, eventually you got to get it out, right? I mean, like, the CT size where you're going to see the best of it. I like the structure we've seen in these rounds from Limitless. It's unfortunate it hasn't come through, and yeah, this is what I'm talking about, right? You don't need some overarching strong player to win you a game. I mean, look, subtracting the fact that Junior's 24-6, I actually don't mean that. But point is, the backup plans are superb. Wait, what? Wolfie lagged out. Uh-oh.
Something's going on here.
What is going on?
I don't know, man. The server connectivity really isn't hitting today.
It's not helping him.
Damage
no.
was already
Never
done.
DJF.
The round will stand. And I'm sure that Limitless, we're not going to be too pleased about how a couple of these rounds have been definitely impacted by these sorts of issues. And right now, doubling back to A, Seb's got no idea. George is making his way up. It looked like Seb actually wanted to make his way over to B for a time there. Not this. Not now. Bomb let loose. Tender and DJF on recon mission to retrieve.
It's another sour taste on the tongue. I mean, I'm not going to go as far as saying this round was Limitless is in the bag, right? It started rough. You had a good shot from Seb in ramp, but the trade was great. So, not like it would have had this massive, insane progression that was missed upon because of Wolfie's disconnect. Couldn't have helped. Neither is that shot. And yeah, George, given an early warning of where he lies, takes the 12th round with glee. A 7-round advantage and 7 chances to close out Mirage. Kind of leaves Limitless in the dumps. And it's the worst part about all that is the fact that this time it's not even DJF. It's Wolfie gone. So you have no idea what happened, right? And they call the tack pause, which almost makes me wonder, are they out of usable tech time? Well, it doesn't matter because he's back, so.
I was going to say, I don't know, but they certainly can't have that much time left. And this is the last round of the map, effectively. I mean, like sub $3,000 on everybody right now. I don't think it'll really come to matter all that much. Fighting tooth and nail and having good competitive spirit and sportsmanship is one thing, but squaring away these issues so they don't continue to plague you in a map 2 are all the more important at this stage in the game. 24-6, Junior, a non-stop fragger for them over the course of Mirage with his 4 KD. Likely not to stop there. He's a quick rotate away from the A site. Once they make their way in, the incursion with only an AK from CT and George to stop them. Nobody in any awkward positions where they're going to flood down upon them. It's going to be a time before they can get up and close and personal with George. So it's the run towards jungle they prefer. And when they make their way in that direction, they're met with bullet fire from George and Parson in crossfire. But oh, crap from Wiz. I think he accidented him low-key, but that one was a little bit more controlled than the other.
And this round is spun on its head. This is doable or not. Rush. Not ready to speak about another round of Mirage now, are we? Junior still got his op on 100 HP in jungle. It seems to be expected by Wolfie. However, what you aren't expecting is Junior just come walking out. Because why not? Hot hand in this game, hot hands to end. 25-6 goes the star op for Nouns. Round him is the player to watch. It was well placed, apparently. Why not? The man who persuaded me into agreeing. And I'm happy it did. Nouns, it's not a surprise to see them come out the victors, and almost not even surprising to see the way it happens. But I gotta say,